second. Let me get a few things set up.
Just let me know when you do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Is the idea to set up screen share, or is it something else?
It's gonna be a stream. It's slightly different.
Okay, cool. All right, I have Overwatch open.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is right next to leave call and underneath our icons is turn on screen share. And then once you click that, it's gonna say stream Overwatch.
All right, sweet.
Okay.
Cool.
So
How's your day been?
My day's been good. How's your day been?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
You can probably go ahead
All
and
right.
queue for a game, and then if I see any like stuttering in the time or anything like that, I'll let you know. And then while we're in queue, we can go ahead and talk a little bit.
Cool. Actually, before we start talking, I'm going to hop into a deathmatch just to make sure that the frame rate isn't dropping a bunch, and see if I need to set settings lower. Oh yeah, things seem fine. Cool. Cool.
All right. So how long have you been playing Overwatch for?
I've been playing a very small amount for a very long period of time.
Oh yeah.
So I played since like season 3 or something, but it's been pretty off and on, pretty spotty.
All right. So recently, how consistently have you been playing?
That's a fair question. For the past probably 2 weeks, probably an hour or two a night. It's probably roughly. It's been more recently now that coronavirus is keeping me at home.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. So just a lot more in recent times. Okay. So are there any questions that you came into the coaching session wanting answered?
Yeah. So probably the thing that I would be most interested in is things to focus on as to what is most concretely holding me back. Because one thing that is tricky is to know the correct order in which to learn things. It seems like should I waste time learning? Like it seems like learning a lot of mechanics isn't necessarily the most efficient way of improving. And it seems probably like game sense or something along those lines is probably the thing I struggle with most. But then the question is just, what should I actually be practicing concretely in order to improve? And kind of heuristics for things to watch out for that are like, oh, this is a thing that I should try to think about more at the end of a game. Kind of like the improving seems very inefficient given the state I'm in because I'm not quite sure what I should be trying to do.
Okay, so yeah, I'll keep an eye out. I'll have things to talk about maybe first whenever I see something first 30 seconds or to a minute or so. But we'll just have to wait for a game to start for me to actually see
how you
start playing. Besides that, I can you're silver, right? If I'm correct from seeing. All right. So there should be. I can already foresee there being quite a few just game sense, like kind of Overwatch fundamentals that we were gonna be kind of going over.
That makes sense.
But besides that, we'll see once I actually start observing your gameplay.
Cool.
Because I know it really all depends on the person.
Yep.
With what they actually struggle with, because sometimes they know what every character does, and they've played the game for a while. They just have bad habits, and then other times they have no clue what video games are, and they're just getting into it. So.
Yep. I suspect the answer for me is going to be bad habits, but that's. I'm just guessing because, like, if I've played for any modicum of amount of time, then if I'm still in silver, then likely speaking, I have ingrained bad habits. But that we'll see.
All right. Well, I guess you want to hop into like a deathmatch or something like that, just while we're waiting. And then, do you mind refreshing me on what your hero pool for support was?
Typically, like I've been kind of forcing Ana recently, just because I enjoy it. But I will play Bap and Moira and Lucio very rarely, mostly just at the very end of a match when I need to run to the point.
All right. Well, that's fine because Ana is currently meta. So she's going to be one of the better picks when it comes to supports. With of course Baptiste and Moira having their own respective. Once in a while, you'll swap to them. And then Lucio also is the other meta support. Do you have anybody in your lobby, or are you alone?
No, it's just me.
If you ever get that, you can just leave and then rejoin.
Yeah. Also still on T.
It seems like I don't have game sound right now for some reason.
Ah, you do not have game sound. Okay,
I
cool.
don't have game sound. Do you know why that would be a problem at all, or
No, I don't. But give me a
because
moment and I'll think about this.
because typically it's just auto comes with it. You found the game, by the way.
Yeah, no more. Shit.
Maybe just try restarting the stream.
Yeah, I'll try that once. Oh, I'm guessing that it does not know which device to pull it from. Shit. Let me think about this for a moment. How many seconds do I have roughly? Actually, let me...
I can't see. You're tabbed out. It's 16 seconds for I think the initial hero select. But you should have like another 30 seconds.
30 seconds or so. Yeah, cool.
Of course, this isn't going to be a big issue.
Yeah, it's not going to be a huge issue, but I'm just going to, since I have time right now to think about this, let me... okay. This is going to probably
I think about like 10 seconds now.
Yeah.
I still can't see it though.
Yeah, don't worry. Alright, 4, 3... Cool, well, I guess you will be stuck without sound, which is not the best, but...
It's fine. Keeps on the Farah, Torb, Barissa, Ball.
Okay, people are splitting up weird ways. They're all in front of their tanks.
Okay, so right off, an initial thing is you sat at 70 HP, so keep an eye on your health.
Yep.
And then when you see that you're at that, you nade yourself so that you're not sitting at 70 HP, because Junk tapped you, and then 10 seconds later he tapped you again, which in that time you could have healed yourself, which could have prevented that death.
Yep.
That was the big thing in that fight. So you threw nade in, and then you get dove instantly. Since they are running a slight dive, you're gonna have to expect for you to get dove, and because you're running dive, you don't have any peel.
Yeah, I really should, like, realistically I should switch here, is my intuition, but...
I think the pick's fine, but what I'm getting at is you need to save nade to heal yourself. Unless you see a very big nade for a purple opportunity, you're probably going to want to save it for self-sustain, but then you also need to be very careful about how you're positioning and how and DPS that are chasing you.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I should not have gone in.
So rather than just swapping characters with it, you swap your playstyle. Is the thing when you see that you have different compositions, because compositions dictate playstyle. Okay, if you need to and he's critical there, use the nade to make sure that he's staying alive.
And we have somebody left.
Yep. There again, make sure you're using need to keep yourself alive. You had need and sleep when you died. So far, biggest thing is you're just not surviving long enough to get value. And if that requires you to swap to a different character, then go ahead. But you also need to be using, if you're going to be staying online, you need to be using your abilities better, so that you're not dying.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's like I feel an unusual amount of pressure in this context, which... Actually, I guess I have one feedback on this, so I will just go with this for now.
So yeah, when you're being dove, remember to sleep a little bit more, especially in that last fight, and then need to both purple enemy and heal yourself up. Okay, I have something I'll talk about after the game's done. We'll go in the training range and go over that, but we'll keep going for now.
Cool. Take note of that.
Okay, don't look away from your fine if they're in the middle of fighting. So you looked up to the Junkrat, but you had critical tanks when you did that. You can't be distracted like that while you're in the middle of it. So before you look up to somebody to do something else, you have to see, is my front line going to die if I do this? That's what you always have to think about before you do something that's not healing people. Before you stop healing, you have to think, okay, can they survive for 2 seconds if I do something else? If they're in the middle of fighting and they're critical, then you can't do that. Okay. Again, abilities there. That'll finish you off faster. Use need, use sleep, something like that. They'll come back by the time you get back to the fight.
Yeah, I guess I was... You'd been mentioning the use it to survive, and so I was trying to avoid just throwing it for other situations, but this is...
So that was a situation where you did throw nade out when you were 40 HP, so make sure you're keeping an eye on your health.
I see, yeah, sorry.
Okay. You're holding on to nano here, make sure that you're not holding on to nano, especially if the fight's not looking like it's going your way.
And I think we've already lost too many people, so I'm just going to run away.
By now, that's fine. You hesitated a little too long on it, but right as the fight was still going on at the start, that would have been a good situation to use nano. Now, who in this composition do you think you should be nanoing?
Oh, okay, fair question. I mean, my default would be DPS or Rhine, but I'm not actually sure which one I would do. I would probably just do it for whoever would stay alive as a result.
Okay. I'll get you a nano priority list if that's... we'll go over that afterwards. We'll go over that afterwards. But the biggest thing is right now is probably your Reinhardt is the big one. Make sure you're nanoing at the start of the fight there, because now it's
way too late.
Yep, it's way too late. You didn't nano the Ryan before he got bursted down, and then now they won the game. So you held on to nano 2 fights in a row, and then
which is a total waste. Yeah.
Yep. The more ultimates you get out, you could have had two nanos in the time that you used that one, and then you didn't even get value out of it. The more ults you get off, the more ultimates, or that means the more kills you're getting, and the more fights you're winning, and then the more fights you're winning, the more games you're winning. So basically, if you're getting off a lot more ultimates, you're gonna be winning a lot more. Sorry, 1 second, I'm gonna get on Overwatch real quick. I didn't have it open. I should have been getting it open. I'm gonna hop in training range real quick. Gonna stream it on Discord. Demonstrate a few things. So nano priority, I'll get that list to you while I'm opening up Overwatch. Gotta find the picture for it. Here we go. So if you take a look at this list real quick, I just sent you. You're gonna have your red characters who have good ultimate combos. So this is going to be it. You can nano them if they have their ultimate. There's going to be your purple/blue, and that's going to be they're good if for just their primary fire. They could be good with like basically if they're just using their normal abilities, they're good in nano. Green is going to be they're good for both their primary and their ultimate. So if we just go through this list real quick, Bastion's really good nano target, Far's really good nano target, Reaper's good nano target. Good primary nano targets are going to be Ryan, Monkey, Ball's okay, Sigma's okay, though those two are a little bit weaker. Diva's okay, Doomfist is good. McCree is good if he has his ultimates. Genshi's good if he has his blade. Roadhog's good if he has his ult, and then Soldier's good if he has his ult. I wrote this a little bit up top, but Symmetra and Zarya are good if they're full charge. Besides that, if somebody's low, you can also nano them to save them. But this is a rough nano priority list you should be going for. As we're going on in the next couple of games, we'll go over this a little bit more in depth because sometimes you'll have multiple of these choices, and we'll go over which one is the best one to choose out of. Let's say you have a couple of them. You just want to know which one is going to be the best. I'm gonna hop in training range, streaming now.
Cool.
Let me know if you can see it.
Yep, can see it.
Okay, so we're on.
Never
the big
stop
thing
fighting
we're
for
going to
what
talk
you
about
believe in.
right here is when to use which type of scoping. So you're going to have 3 different types of scoping. You're going to have your unscope shots, you're going to have your scope shots, and you're going to have your quick scope shots, which is going to be where you barely go into the animation, or you can't even see the animation. So when to use each. 10 meters away, so that's about here to here. On squishy targets, so small targets, is going to be unscoped. If they are a tank, then you can go up to 15 meters, which is going to be around here, because they have bigger hitboxes, so you can unscope from here. Anything past that 10 meter for squishies, or past this 15 meter for tanks, is going to be scoping in, because you're going to get a lot more value, because it's going to be easier to hit them. But here we get into when to quick scope, which is a very valuable skill to learn, which I wasn't seeing you do a whole lot in situations where I would have thought it would be beneficial. The reason why you want to quick scope, and we're gonna go over that first. The benefits of it is when you are scoped, you lose mobility. So look how slow we are, and then we also lose visibility. So look how little we can see here in comparison to unscoped. So we lose mobility and visibility, and then also it's going to make it a lot easier to headshot us and kill us because now we're slowed, and it's really easy to hit our head when we're slowed like that. So when you want to be quick scoping is when you have to hit targets that are past that 10 or 15 meter mark, who are at that longer medium range, but you're under pressure. So if you have dive characters or flankers putting you under pressure, you want your mobility and visibility because you don't want, and you also don't want to be getting bursted in the head because you're just hard scoping.
Standing still. Yeah.
Yep. So you want to be quick scoping so that you still have that mobility and visibility. The one thing you have to be careful about though is that this is gonna slow your rate of fire. So whenever you get the opportunity to, which we'll go over kind of when is opportunity to, when isn't, and that you'll get used to that. But whenever you get the opportunity, just scoping is going to be the better option. But quick scoping is still very important when it's available. Are you aware? I'm just going to go over this real quick, just because we're here in the training range. Are you aware about the Ana ultimate with to check nade distance tech?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so look at our ultimate charge. We're just lining it up. This only works while you're scoped in. We just throw our nade, and then it hits.
The pain is
so
does it work from most heights, or like?
This works at medium to long range. I don't think it works close range unless you're. I mean, I guess it could work close range. So it works close range, but you don't need it.
Like, it's like what I was wondering is like the very top floor, like just in general, like.
Yeah, it works at ranges. So if we come all the way back here, we're gonna line this up.
This will only hurt
for
a
wow.
minute.
Okay, that is oddly consistent. Okay,
Yep.
that is. much easier.
Yeah, it's very consistent. Of course, when you're at close range, you're not even gonna need the marker.
Yeah.
So this is really only longer ranges where this is gonna be necessary. But it's of course a very helpful tech.
Okay. Yep. That's much easier. That is super useful now.
Yep, I didn't learn this until I stopped maining Ana, so that's helpful. Okay, so you can probably go ahead and start a queue up. Stop sharing screen, but I'm gonna keep Overwatch open just in case we have to go back.
Cool.
Oh, so just go ahead and get in a queue, but I'm gonna stream up real quick again because I was gonna talk about one more thing. Just let me know when you get in a game.
Never
so
stop fighting
positioning.
for what you believe in.
Cover is the biggest thing that you need to be thinking about when it comes to positioning and how to stay alive better. If we're standing right here, this is bad positioning because that means
available from basically every angle.
Yeah. No, but the other thing is we're not next to cover. So if this is any character in the game that's shooting at us, it takes us 1, 2, 3 seconds to get behind cover. The nearest cover, and we're dead in that time. Whereas if we're standing right here, it takes us half a second to get behind cover. Because now we're standing next to cover, which just gives us that option. So by standing next to cover, we can now dodge spam. So if we're like kind of using cover and hugging cover while we're moving from place to place, we'll be avoiding damage, random spam damage, as well as this is how you're gonna do a lot better against snipers and sniper lines of sight. So you can use things like corners, you can use things like little ledges like this, you can use pillars and just random objects. Corners, again, are the big ones, corners and walls. Corners, corner, corner, up here. So if we're standing right here, this is a really bad position. Up here, it's a lot better position. Because again, we have that easy access to cover. Now you don't always need to be behind cover. You just need to be next to cover. Okay.
Game just popped, but...
Alright, leaving.
Alright, sweet. So here's a concrete question.
Good.
What is the correct place to stand on this map?
So
typically I'll go here, but it feels kind of vulnerable.
Probably closer to the right. You're probably gonna want to stay closer to your tanks. Not that right. So just basically stay with your tanks, but then you're gonna chill in this mid area when you get the opportunity, because you're gonna be looking for nades from the high ground. Hopefully your team doesn't hold too close. But it looks like they are rushing in. If your Ryan is critical like that, do throw the nade at him, because that will keep him alive. A lot of the time, I'm not seeing you use your nade enough, or in the right situations. If Reinhardt's about to die, throw nade at him, because it'll amplify the healing that he's taking.
Yep. Oh my god.
Okay, good nade for self-heal.
That was not a thing I should have peeked.
Yeah, he also just looking at health bars and people who are surrounding him. Ryan was in need of a nade there. He didn't have enemies surrounding him and he was full HP. So just keep an eye on that. Pay attention to that when you're looking for nades. Make sure you're not standing inside of your wrist because that's going to be making it a lot harder for you to see what's going on. And then if, let's say your Ryan's low and then your wrist just has a sliver down on her health, the wrist is going to steal that shot from your
Yeah,
Ryan.
exactly. Yeah, which is what was happening there.
Same thing
so,
with... Go ahead.
Now that it's not as... I don't need as much attention, what were you saying that I should do in that situation? Oh, fuck.
In which situation?
One where the other main tank, or other tank, is absorbing shots.
Oh, move out of the line of sight. So you move to the left or the right. So you're just not sitting inside of her. That way she's not going to be stealing nades or shots. Very good sleep. Okay, you could actually nano somebody there to keep them alive, because it'll actually...
Okay. I'm just going to do it now anyway, because...
Okay, good nade. Make sure you're sending me on cover. Yep, so if you nano out somebody while they shatter, then it'll keep them alive so that they're not getting picked.
What do I do in a situation like this where the Reaper is just not in anything that resembles line of sight?
If you aren't able to heal him, then you can't heal him. If you're not in team chat to communicate with him, or he's not in team chat, then don't even focus on him. Look at something else unless he goes in the team chat. So keep an eye on him. Just don't dedicate all of your attention to him. Don't tunnel vision on him. Watch to see if he's coming close enough to peek the edge. If he doesn't, then just don't make sure you're not tunnel visioning and then letting other people die. If you're,
should I go high ground or anything here, or?
Yeah, probably top right would be the best option.
The one up here, or is that what you're referring to? Or
the little spinny things, but you can get there from the top left as long as you get there fast.
Okay.
But now it's too late. You want to be doing that right as the fight ends.
Yeah, that's what I was just asking then, because.
Yeah. You can also climb up certain ways, but.
Do I should I nano now? Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
For it.
Just don't be as hesitant with your nanos. Like, basically, it's an ultimate that charges very fast, and a lot of the time you're just hanging on to it a little bit too much.
Okay.
Okay, you're Ryan fed, at least you got pulsed, that's fine. Probably should have been high ground,
okay,
but it's too late for that. We're coming back out, we don't have nano, so right now, we're probably looking for a nade to keep our team to get enemy team purpled.
What did I need? Put a dart there. I'm gonna do that since we're about to win.
Yeah. Right. Yep. So there, the big thing I noticed was you weren't standing next to cover the whole time, which meant that you took a lot of spam damage and got down to 60 HP. And then that meant that you died when you could have been pocketing people.
I guess one thing that was confusing there for positioning was that there was the
tracer behind.
The tracer on my left and the rest of the team on the right, so it's not clear for me where to stand.
You hug that little divider between the two sides.
I see, just like stand right up against it and just be able to.
If you stand up right against it, yeah, because what that does is that makes it a lot harder for the people on the right to hit you, and then it also makes it harder for tracer on the left to hit you. So you stand there.
As opposed to backing up, which is just wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, cool. Typically, when positioning with Ana, this is generalized positioning for every map. With Ana is you're looking for 3 different things. The first thing is, can I see my team? Do I have line of sight to be able to heal them? Second thing is going to be, does the enemy team have line of sight on me? And you don't want them to be able to see you. because that means you're gonna be taking a lot of spam, and you don't need to see them because you're not a damage dealer. And then the third thing is going to be, do you have access to nades and, less importantly, sleeps? That's going to be really important because if you get big team nades, which is going to be more important when they're running Brawl, because like we were talking about last map, when they're running Dive, you might want to save it for yourself. But if they're running Brawl, big team nades are going to decide fights. So if you can put yourself in positions to get those off, then you're going to be in a good position to win those fights. So look to check those 3 boxes, and if you can't check those 3 boxes, look to check as many as possible. Okay, there you weren't really at risk of dying if you didn't scope in. Or if you did scope in, and then it was going to be really hard to actually track her with unscoped shots while she's doing dancing with her boosters. Yep. She was also outside of that 10-meter range, or 15-meter range. Now here, they have very clear line of sight on us, so we might want to move out and closer to the left where we can get to a wall that's out of their line of sight. Okay, make sure that you're watching all members of your team, so you're not just tunnel visioning on certain ones, especially when they're not in danger of dying.
See, now normally I would be in voice, or I would want to be in voice so I can call out that I've done this. Oh, cool. So covered it.
So you typically talk in chat, just you're not because of me?
I talk in chat with the friends that I play with, but often not at... When I'm ranked above probably like 2200, so on DPS I'll do it, but it's often it feels pretty useless at this rank. People get pretty tilted quickly, which is not very enjoyable.
Okay, remember, pay attention to positioning. You don't want to be hard scoping out in the open like that. Okay, you move to a better position.
I should be quick scoping, which honestly I just need to practice.
Yep, again, you're saving a nano till like people
I just keep forgetting. Okay.
Be thinking about it in between fights, so that you're not having to react in the middle of the fight. This is still a winnable fight. You got 2 picks. You use your nano before you die. Unless actually you got 3 people. So yeah, right as I said that, it was a bad decision.
Yeah, it's fine. I do not know where to stand at the moment.
Yep, stand close to the left side, not on the right, because 2 people are out of your line of sight, and you're also not in a great positioning cover-wise. Remember the first check of the 3 check list is you want to be able to see your team, and 2 people died because you couldn't see them. When you get a grav off, you need to be looking for a nade into the grav, because that means that they can't heal up.
Yeah, sorry, talking and
that's fine,
playing at the same time is not a super automatic thing for me.
I'll try to tone back in the middle of fights. That's my bad. Okay, so now you are coming up on nano. You need to be thinking about who you're nanoing before or kind of now while the next fight's about to start. You have a Genji. What's his blade at?
It is now up. It was not up a moment ago. Go for it.
Okay, so if you are in team chat, how you kind of execute it is before the fight starts, you say, "Okay, Genji, we have nano blade. Dash up and call it when you're ready." Or if he's not if he doesn't have a voice or anything like that, and he's not talking, or he's not in voice chat, then you just say dash up. And if you don't have the opportunity to, just make sure you're trying not to nano somebody else. That way you're just not accidentally nanoing somebody and you're paying attention to him rather than being focused on something else.
Oh, I do not like being on the low ground here. Really do not like being on the low ground. This is a huge mistake.
But you do have 2 picks, which probably means that they're going to push forward and
what the fuck?
Unfortunate. Okay, can you just kill 3?
Hopefully we can convert it to something.
So now that just means you want to be pushing aggressively. When you're up people, your team should be pushing aggressively, which means that you shouldn't be in this positioning because your team's pushing forward and now you don't have easy line of sight on them for the fight.
That is
Rather
my favorite.
Rather than just chucking it in, try to look for more aggressive nades that are well placed and trying to hit as many people as possible. Okay, you're trying to get nano off here. This is your kind of win condition. But then Junkrat's on top of you. Unfortunate. Okay, so a lot of the time, you're not really paying attention. Oh, you're actually winning the fight. Okay, so you're not paying attention to who is about to need healing. So you're paying attention to when people need healing, but you need to pay attention to who will need healing. So for example, a Reaper's fading in on your Zenyatta. Zenyatta is not critical, but he's about to be critical because a Reaper's in his face. So instead of looking away from them, you'll look at your Zenyatta because the Reaper's about to kill him, which means that your Zenyatta now doesn't die. So if you see that your tank that your DPS are going in aggressively, so your Genji's dashing in, you should be looking to heal your Genji because he's in more danger than your Orisa who's sitting behind the shield. In the same way, if you have people using ultimates, they're going to be a bigger target than people who aren't using ultimates. So be keeping that in mind as well. Okay, what ability do you have that could have counteracted that?
Yes, I understand.
Yep.
I was still thinking about what we were talking about, which is not the best place to be in at the moment.
Okay, we have our ultimate. We should be pressing tab, looking at who can we actually be nanoing here. Our Genji's at 90%, so we can either nano him a little bit early and hope that he gets it fast here, or just wait a couple seconds till he has it. And he actually did use it.
I don't know where to go there, but
I think that you were close to cover. So D.Va bombs are very good kind of indication, kind of test of positioning, because if you're not next to cover to get behind it cover, then you're not using positioning correctly. In the same way that a high noon does the same thing. If you're not in close enough to cover to get behind cover, then you might not be using positioning the correct way. So be thinking about that when you die to ultimates like that.
That is terrible nade.
Yep. Ryan was swinging on you from behind. So that would have been probably a better nade. You can nade yourself to heal yourself up, as well as purpling the Reinhardt who's behind you. You also were kind of in the fight there, kind of brawling when you probably didn't want to be doing that. You want to be a little bit farther back.
I mean, yeah. The problem was that I had slept the Reaper behind myself, and he would just wake up eventually, and
which but the only thing with that is you're running from one slept target towards 6 awake targets. So
fair enough, yeah.
You're in more danger of dying in the latter case than the first one.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Did I have anything I wanted to go over after game? I'm not thinking of anything at the moment, so you can probably go ahead and get into another queue.
Cool.
But yeah, big thing is going to be purple nades. You're not getting them off frequently enough, so remember the third step in positioning. I guess I can go over that real quick. You can leave your deathmatch. You can just keep queuing though. It says I'm streaming, but it's not showing. Can you see my stream?
I cannot.
Yeah, it says I'm streaming.
Oh yes, now I can.
Alright, now you can? Alright. So 3 steps. First step. We'll go over the third step mainly, but 3 steps. Can we see our team? If our team's standing here around this corner, and the enemy team is standing here, we don't want to be standing here because yes, we can see our team, but the enemy team can see us. Whereas if we move around this corner, we can see our team, but enemy team can't see us, so that checks 2 boxes. And if we move farther back here, we actually check 3 boxes, because now, if our whole team's full HP, and we have an opportunity to, we can take 3 seconds to come on a flank here, come up to high ground, get the nade off on our whole team. So, this high ground gives us the ability to get a large anti-nade off, which will win us the fight. So be looking for positioning that allows you to check those 3 boxes. And sometimes some will be a higher priority than others. Like you always want to be able to heal your team, so that you can't really uncheck that box. And you sometimes might need to be moving into territory where you are taking damage. And really, I'd say the most important. Oh, you're in a game. I see.
Yeah, it's not urgent, right? You can keep talking.
Yeah, probably the most important one is going to be getting nades off as long as you're doing it safely. Because those will win fight. If you get a 6-man nade and then die, you win the fight because they can't heal, and it doesn't matter if you're dead or alive.
Cool.
Though you still want to stay alive. That's really important.
Yeah, I mean, your point is just that the nading your opponents is quite powerful.
the power of the nade. Yep.
Yeah.
So here, you're probably going to want to try to take high ground, but you also need to be very careful because if they're running a very similar comp and they're going left side, then they're going to be doing the same thing. So main might also be a very safe option. If your team's going main here, then you go main too. Okay, good job hugging this left wall. Okay, Eva's only a little bit low, so make sure you're not tunnel visioning on her. Okay,
do I pull forward here?
Yeah, so pay attention to kill feed because that's going to dictate it's going to tell you how the fight's going. So right now you want to be repositioning the high ground.
Oh yeah, that's...
So
it might be too late, but I'm going to try to do it anyway. I might get punished.
No, you're fine. Just next time go around the left side as well, so it's on your side of the fight.
So you're not revealing yourself.
Yep. So if you're up people, then you can play a little bit more aggressively, take better positioning, or take closer positioning. The nade throw it a little bit farther down. Yep. But it was a good idea.
The inspiration was right. Yep. Heart was in the right place, but that doesn't actually...
Exactly. So aim it a little bit lower. Remember...
Use the heuristic. Yep. All right. Fuck. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do.
Okay, go back up high ground. We're coming up on our nano. We're at 90%, so we're going to be looking to use it this fight. Tracer and Hanzo aren't that great of nano targets, Monkey is probably going to be our best nano target, and then Diva would be the second best. So if one of them is low, pick them. If not, go with Monkey. So if Diva's not low, then go with the Monkey. Keep healing, but at the same time be spamming it. That was a fine decision to drop there. Because it allowed you to get the line of sight on the Monkey. But just make sure that you're dropping right. I actually can't remember where you dropped, so scratch out that idea. Take high ground again.
Where do you think I should drop to? So regardless of what I actually do,
on your side.
Okay. I probably should be getting back to high ground, but it's a little late.
Yep, just make sure you're doing that earlier, not late.
Yep.
Sooner rather than later. Nading yourself to heal yourself up while you're on that rotation.
My own health bar.
Yep. Aim it a little bit more rather than just tossing it. Look for somebody to hit it on.
I would like to target myself.
Okay, good sleep.
Where's the team?
Quick scope in that situation when you're under pressure. You're kind of walking through there.
Yeah. I think I just need to actually mechanically practice that. Like, I think the mechanics of quick scoping are just not familiar.
Right click, left click. Maybe practice it a little bit.
I'm just saying, like, it's a thing that just takes time to get automatic. I'm just
I understand
deathmatch afterwards. Like, I'm familiar with the concept. That just doesn't mean it's automatic.
Okay. Other than that, really good round. So you repositioned after fights. Just make sure that's a little bit faster. Nades could use some work. Make sure that you're looking for a target to be nading and making sure you're hitting it. Other than that, really good. You had good positioning.
I don't actually know where to position in this place.
So either sit on the left side or main.
Well, I just literally walked into that.
I probably want to go high ground because it's a really long rotation.
That I did not aim either. Just taking. Oh wow.
So that's gonna come from hard scoping. You saw that because you were hard scoping, he was outside of your line of sight.
Yep,
so
that makes sense.
And if your team's pushing forward and taking positioning, it's also possible for you to do that as well. So maybe take left room with them if they're pushing on the point.
Should I be pushing forward here?
Yes, if your team's pushing forward, push forward with them. Just be ready to back up. Just remember, check those boxes and make sure you're still in line of sight of your team. Even if they're pushing into their spawn, make sure you're in line of sight of their team. So you lost sight of your monkey and then he died.
Yeah, yep, that makes a lot of sense.
So this is, even if, is pushing the spawn is a good idea there if you're cleaning up picks. But even if you weren't and it was a completely bad idea, the difference between a thrower and a strategy is how many people are in on it. If one person's running into their spawn, that's a throw. If 6 people are doing that, then you're going to be popping off and doing things. But because you lagged behind, you kind of put your team in danger of dying.
I'm going to go into... Oh, wow. Okay, Tracer.
That's fine. Tracer has self-sustain, and she was way out of your line of sight. It wasn't it was rather than your whole team being up for it. Okay, your team's on the right. You reposition on the right. Really good. Now we have picks. We have Nano. It's at 90%. You probably just want to clean up this fight. Get Nano off on whoever you can. Oh, I would have just probably there in that situation. You see Ryan pinning your Moira. As soon as you come up, you flick to the left and you Nano your Moira, which will keep her alive from the Ryan charge.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it does, at least. 90%. 90% sure.
I would expect it to.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
even if it's wrong, it's worth finding out. So.
Okay. Really good game.
Things that were better. Positioning in general was, I would say, better. Was there substantially better?
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably the main thing.
Yep. Nades probably besides. Nades still needed some work. Besides that, positioning is really good. Sleep, I guess sleep is okay. Didn't see problems with that, and didn't see insane usage as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like if I can solve the other problems, it's enough better that I'm not really concerned about sleep darts, right? Like, if the sleep darts are going poorly, but the other parts are going fine at this rank, it's probably fine.
Yeah, just make sure you're getting them off. You're using it consistently, so you're not just holding on to it. So unless they're running dive, so basically if they're not running dive,
hit tab and see if I need to have the dart for myself.
Yeah,
that kind of the idea there.
Basically, you just the first thing you want to take into account every single game is what are they running, because that's gonna dictate how you're playing. If they're running dive, you're gonna have a vastly different play style than if they're running brawl. And in the same way, if you're running dive, you're gonna be playing a lot differently than if you're playing brawl. It's gonna change who you're nading. If they're running dive, or if you're running dive, you're probably gonna be nading yourself more than you're nading the enemy team, or you're nading yourself and other people when they dive in on you. If they're running brawl, then those purple nades are going to be super essential in carrying. Getting purple nades is going to be probably the hardest carrying utility that you have, aside from sleeping ultimates or landing nano boosts.
Landing valuable nanos. Yep, cool.
We have 8 more minutes. You can probably you want to do like a quick play, something like that?
Sure, why not? Let's.
So, while we're waiting on the game, you have any questions about anything we've gone over so far?
No, I mean, I think most of what you're saying makes sense.
Okay. Well, just as we're wrapping up, be keeping that in mind and thinking about any questions that you might have had.
Okay, yeah. So I guess it sounds like the things that I should prioritize are positioning, number one, and then also like nading things and figuring out. Second.
He's still throwing the game.
Yeah. And figuring out like the correct nade usage.
Yep.
Nope, that's too close for that heuristic.
Basically, like if you can get if you can get just general game sense down, then you're gonna be a lot better off. Mechanics ultimately don't really matter as long as you have good game sense. Like even just things like shooting can be solved by using game sense and thinking about it. Which of course, like I don't have a problem with your aim, so I wouldn't go into something like crosshair placement as of yet, unless you came back and we went over some more advanced things. But right now, like basically, I just wanted to emphasize the point of game sense can solve things like mechanics, and if you have good game sense, you can get really good at the game.
Makes sense. How much is like I don't know how to say this, like memorizing particular places to stand on particular maps matter? Because it seems like a
over time that it'll kind of like over time you'll get positioning that you like. You'll kind of like get favorite positions. So that'll come just like you kind of use the 3 checklist rules, you use the cover, and then you found the position and you full held the team, and you're like, wow, I really like this spot. And then next time you get that same map, you use the same spot, and then it works again well. So you'll get used to spots that you'll stand in, and then that'll just come with time. So just the general thing is going to be those 3 checklists. Checklist things to check off. Check. 1, 2.
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I was talking. I was ranting, so it's just.
No. Mostly what you were saying is just like you should go through the checklist of position. The 3 parts of position. Can you see your team? Can your opponents see you? You don't want that to be the case. And once again, the third one would be: is there a place you can nade? I'm trying to actually remember what the third one was.
Yep. So in this scenario, you want
really
to be pushing
like
forward. Yep. So you actually were not in LOS of your team because they were underneath you.
Yep.
Okay, so we have Nano. What are we? We're pressing tab. We're looking at what do we have. Our Genji's only at 50%, so we can either wait for him. We can nano him when he's close, or we can nano our ball or diva. It really depends. If we get picks, then you might want to nano your ball or diva, and if you otherwise, you just might want to wait till Genji gets it. But I'd just keep pressing tab, paying attention to it.
Alright,
Kind of press tab when your Zenyatta is getting fire struck.
I believe equal here. I'm just going to do this because let's find out how this works.
So,
RIP.
that right there, I'd say the solution to that problem that you had will come at a more advanced level. That's gonna come with ult tracking, which we don't have time for in the 3 minutes that we have.
Yeah, it makes sense. Is there at all like a post of like relative ult rate gain, like typical like number of fights? Because like I think grab, I would think of it as slower.
Basically, if they haven't used it in a fight, assume that they have it besides a few scenarios, and you'll get better at guessing it. But if Azaria's low charge, then she's not gonna have it for like 2 fights. If Ryan's not swinging on anything, then he's not gonna have it. You just have to pay attention to things like that. If that's, we can talk about. I can't remember. Did you only have this one session, or did you have 2?
We have 2, yeah.
We have 2. Okay, well maybe next time I'll go over how to ult track, and then that way, you'll know how to actually predict ultimates better. There, Ryan is getting serious farming off.
I do not like where I am right now. Do I just dive into it? Oh, let's just.
So we're regrouping. We have our ultimates. We swapped off the Genji, so now we're on double sniper. And neither of those are gonna be good picks. So either you nano ball while he's swinging in and is about to pile drive, or you nano your diva, which ball's close to his ultimate. So if he's going in with a pile drive ball mines, that might be a really good decision here. Just also keep purple nades in mind because they're running brawl. Yeah, I haven't seen one off, and also keep, because they're running diva, keep her matrix in mind as well.
Yep.
So something like that.
Into it.
Yep. So the reason why that didn't work was because it's going straight in. Typically, when you're getting nades off, you're gonna want to do it from the sidelines.
I see. Yeah.
In that situation, because otherwise it gets shielded or it gets eaten by a spam meat from the diva.
Yep.
In that situation, if you can't do it, you try to get it off walls or something like that. Okay, so were you?
Yeah, I should have just turned and tried to dart him, but.
Oh, I was just making sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of what I should have been doing. It just. Cool. Any other things that might be worth thinking about in the next amount of time? Because the positioning, learning actually how to consistently quickscope, and potentially, at least vaguely thinking about ult tracking is sort of the list of 3 things.
Keep in mind, like, scope versus unscope, so like kind of what ranges, and then.
Oh yeah, sorry. I should actually honestly focus on nanoing, just ensuring that I actually use nano.
Yep.
And not like I'm gonna just do this, just force him to go.
Oh, try to get that behind the shield rather than in front of him.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. unfortunate round.
Oh, that's totally fine.
So that pretty much wraps up our session. I'm gonna do this because the round's done. But oh, I forgot that was quick play. Wow. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better because I thought that was ranked. But whew.
Oh, that was not ranked. No, that was quick play.
Okay. So, anyways, you ordered 2 sessions, so I will get this. I'm gonna stop recording now.